Hello, hello, my sweet, sweet misfits. Hope you're doing well. It's been all of a few days. I'm trying to get better at posting every few days. We are going to be doing some meal prep today. I've got 4 entrees, a side of honey roasted carrots with some fresh thyme. My clients love them. They order them every week. So we're just going to be doing that. And then this is really just going to be kind of a process of what I do. It's not going to be the actual flow of process of what I do when I'm doing meal prep. We've got a few things that look like they're going to be pretty amazing. Today, we are going to be doing a cumin spiced skirt steak with some spiced farro, a cilantro lime chicken, Mexican rice, soy ginger, glazed shrimp, rosemary garlic chops. But the lamb chops are not going to be lamb chops. We're going to be doing a rack of lamb because the chops that I saw weren't looking any good, with some creamy mashed potatoes. Last but not least, those honey glazed carrots with thyme. With that being said, I am going to get everything started and going, and maybe we'll learn something along the way. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is get this cumin spiced skirt steak started. Basically salt, pepper, cumin, and some smoked paprika. All right, so we got this all spiced up. So we're gonna take this now and get it into a zip top bag and then get it in the refrigerator so that way it can marinate for about, probably about an hour. And now we're on to the next. And in case you didn't know, this is a wet paper towel. You can use a regular towel, but you put that down and then you put your cutting board down. Now, even though it has these rubber edges, it's just gonna make it that much more stable. So that way when I'm cooking, the board's not gonna shift. All right, so we've got a couple of breasts here that are gonna be some pretty large breast. So since they're larger breast, we're just gonna cut that in half right down the center, making it 2 regular sized breasts, or at least thinner. They'll cook more evenly, they'll cook faster, and it's just so much portion. Make sure you press, keep even, all the way through. That's pretty darn perfect right there. See, that breast is a little bit more manageable. They did a pretty good job at keeping them pretty much the same size. All right, so now we're just gonna season this. We're not gonna salt the chicken because we're gonna actually kind of put it in a marinade of lime and olive oil. And that olive oil will help dilute the lime. You don't wanna ceviche, which is a cooking process. You don't wanna ceviche the chicken. So a little bit of garlic and some cumin. And then we'll put this into a zip top bag with some lime and olive oil and let it marinate for about half an hour. All right, some olive oil, and then the lime. Closed up, and we're just gonna give it a little massage, get those juices and spices and oil all over that chicken. And then we'll salt this right before we cook it. All right, so for meal prep, I do love using the sous vide. Now keep in mind, the sous vide is a technique. It's a process, a system, if you will. This is just a container that holds water. It can be a pot, it can be whatever, as long as your meat fits in there. This little thing here is the heating wand. It basically goes into the water. There's a coil inside that goes to a specific temperature. Speaking of, we're gonna go in for the lamb. We want tender and juicy, which is gonna be medium rare, 131. Set the time, 1 hour, set it and forget it. I can put it in there now while it's marinating, or I can let it marinate, then put it in there. And I think it's worthy of saying that a good cook, chef, whatever, at this point, a good cook is gonna be able to use all of the tools they have available to them. Whether it's a sous vide, whether it's an air fryer, or even hell, even if it's a microwave. I don't care. If you can use it and produce quality, delicious food for your client, that's all that matters. I still use traditional methods, but because I'm orchestrating multiple foods at one time just by myself, using things like the sous vide really helps my process. So I'm just gonna set you there. Okay. All right, so we're gonna do some minced garlic. Not jarlic, but the garlic. Then we're gonna do some fresh rosemary. And then just a little coarse chop. Then we're gonna get our rosemary into a little bowl, as well as our garlic. A little olive oil. Mix. And this is basically just gonna be a marinade for the lamb. Speaking of the lamb, there we are. Did a rack of lamb versus lamb chops this time. The lamb chops they had were like tiny. They were like, now I know it has garlic in the little olive oil marinade with rosemary, but I am gonna give it a little bit extra garlic because that's how I roll. Then into a zip top bag. Now we're gonna take this lovely olive oil mixture, can't really see in there, rosemary, olive oil, garlic, into the bag, and then half into the other bag. Then we'll distribute the garlic evenly, okay? All right, and there you go. That'll just drop in the sous vide whenever we're ready. That's what's nice about the sous vide is that you can keep it in there and you can't overcook it unless it's like hours upon hours. But it'll hold at the temperature of whatever you put it in there. Today, 131 degrees, a little bit more than medium rare. 129 is like exact perfect medium rare. That's a debate all on its own between chefs. So, all right, so the steak and lamb can go ahead and go into the sous vide, go into the water bath if you're being technical. Drop that in there. Second layer here of this in the middle. And then what you can do is make sure air can get out so that way it removes all the air. The heat will automatically and naturally push the air out. So now you push those out, make sure they're fully submerged. The lid is going to help keep the heat inside the container, and it's also going to help keep the bags from falling into the water and soaking that meat. That's not good. Family show. Family show. Almost forgot the shrimp. The nice thing about shrimp is that it doesn't have to marinate long. You can go ahead and season it. We'll get it all in its season and marinade, if you will. There's not much you need to do to tenderize it, but you can infuse that flavor. So we're gonna get this shrimp done into a zip top bag, let that sit and marinate for a while. Then all the meat will be done and we get started on the sides and everything else. Yeah, it's all coming together. All right, so definitely wanna wash your shrimp, at least rinse it. And then once you rinse it, you wanna make sure that it's super dry. That way the olive oil and the spices stick so much better. Plus you won't have all the water popping in the pan. So for the marinade for this, we're gonna basically double it since we've got 2 pounds of shrimp versus 1. So 4 tablespoons or so, it's my favorite word, or so, of soy sauce. Now this is a soy honey, but we are gonna use syrup because my clients like to give their daughter little bites, and I don't think she's of the age to be able to eat honey yet. So we'll actually just finish that off in there. Some grated garlic. And then some ginger that I've already peeled. That there. Then just a touch of some sesame oil. A little bit of this goes such a long way. And now give it a whisk. And then of course we're going to give a little taste. Actually, that's pretty spot on. I'm just going to take our shrimp, marinade right in the bag, Seal it up, push out the air. And then just go ahead and give it the squishies. And then we can get that in the fridge until it's ready to cook. And that's super quick. Okay, so I have rice going in here. I have farro going in here. And the next thing we're gonna do is something that I learned from my friend John, Edible Food Cravings, on TikTok. 2 cups of water into a pressure cooker. Put in your washed potatoes. Then you're going to get everything in there nice and locked. Set the timer, pressure cook, already set for 20 minutes. 20 minutes, start. Your potatoes will come out consistently perfect every time. Now I'm gonna get started on these carrots, but everything is going. The steak, the lamb in here, chicken, and the shrimp, easy sears to do. It takes 10 minutes for those, well, 15 minutes for the chicken or so, maybe a little bit longer. The carrots, we're gonna put those in after the rice is done. It's all coming together. Trust the process. Okay, I gotta peel carrots. Let me put you down. I'm just gonna put you down right here. Oh, you know what? Actually, learning moment here. Learning moment, the pressure cooker with the potatoes. I know there's gonna be somebody in the comments that's like, I'll just boil my potatoes. It's gonna come out just fine. Yes, it will. This is just another technique. The more techniques you know, the more you can do. Like my stovetop right now is jam-packed with all the pots that I have. I can make these potatoes, consolidate my time. That's the key. And the more techniques you have, the better the cook you are. That's something I've always said. That thing is ready to go. Just catch already, man. All right, so getting started on this Mexican rice to go with the chili lime chicken. There's gonna be onions, garlic, cumin, smoked paprika, a little salt. Then of course we got some Better Than Bouillon veggie stock, which I love using for this. My tomato sauce, and then that long grain rice. It's all about the foundation. Okay, so where we're at is all like perfect right now. It's actually coming together really well. I've got the Mexican rice finishing off in there. I've got some carrots coming up to a boil here. The steam just started on here just a few minutes ago, so that's releasing the steam. I'll be able to open that up, peel those potatoes, and finish that mash. And then I went on ahead and made a little bit extra rice. The first round of rice I made, I didn't like. I think I was just a little occupied with, you know, you and me, a little too occupied. So I'm gonna go ahead and get cleaned up and organized a little bit, and by the time the Mexican rice and the carrots are done, that will open up the space that I need to sear off the meat and then cook the chicken and the shrimp. All right, potatoes are finished. There you go. Super hot, so just tongs will be a big help. I'll get those over to a bowl. And the nice thing too is that these are not sitting in water, so they're not gonna be waterlogged potatoes. That's another bonus to these like this. All right, so now it's time for a friendly game of hot potato. So now you just literally just peel these potatoes like so. Our Mexican rice is all finished here. Just give it a little mix, and it looks and smells phenomenal. We're gonna get these potatoes whole in there just to show you how perfect they are. So good. All right, so clean as you go. That's the moral of this story. These are the potatoes, nice and mashed. I've got a little butter and garlic in here heating up, and then I'm gonna add some half and half, which is actually what I prefer, and then we're gonna add literally a boatload of salt. So That's all we're doing right now. Then we'll get to sauteing everything. And I'm probably just gonna saute everything one at a time just to kind of go through the process. While this milk starts to simmer, I'll actually put some salt in there so that way it'll dissolve, seasoning the milk and butter mixture. And then I can add more as needed when I put it into the potatoes. All right, so this is starting to simmer. I'm gonna go ahead and get this poured in here. Just start off with like 3/4. Don't drown your mashed potatoes, then they're all like soup. But I will probably need all of that milk mixture for sure. Yes, this is going to be creamy and dreamy, if I do say so myself. I'm just feeling the need to get some Parmesan in there. Man, these smell so good. Set that to the side, let it cool off. Avocado oil. Inquiring minds. Oh my goodness, and there you have it. This is the maple glaze for the shrimp I'm putting on. This is pretty much the last of everything. I'll just get some cilantro on there. And there's the cilantro lime chicken, the rack of lamb, and then that perfectly cooked, if I do say so myself, skirt steak. Turned out amazing. Mashed potatoes, maple glazed carrots with thyme, and then I had just white rice with a heavy vegetable bouillon, some Mexican rice. No peas and carrots in that. They requested that, just basic rice. And then you had that farro. But there is everything. Okay, so everything is done. You saw the food. We have it all nice and packaged up. Large blue containers are the proteins, and then the smaller clear top, or clear all the way around in gray, are the side dishes. I package them like this, family style, because one day they may want the shrimp with mashed potatoes, one day they may want the shrimp with farro. This is gonna let them mix and match, let them do their thing. I don't normally cook at my place, but my client requested that I did. They are on their way home from out of the country. It's almost, well, it's about an hour and a half till 12 is when they land and I want to have this in their fridge ready for them to go when they get home. Just a nice little thing to come home to a nice cooked meal. The house manager will more than likely have one of these plated beautifully for them when they come in. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what a meal prepper does. A meal prepper generally does it at the client's house, but this used to be a private client of mine where they brought me into this apartment, paid the apartment, and said, it's our apartment, cook for us. It was a very unique situation. This particular apartment is coming to an end shorter than anticipated because they are going to be moving back overseas because of personal and business reasons. So this lease will be ending here shortly. Not sure what I'm going to do. I still have a lease on that apartment down near the Strip. May go back there for a little bit and then maybe do some travel. Who knows? But this Christmas season is chaotic. I'm about to head to Huntington Beach on the 24th, and on the 25th, we've got a dinner for 25, and then I come back on the 26th where I've got lunch at the office for my client and his staff, and then the same thing on the 27th. On the 28th, a friend of mine's coming in from New Orleans. We're going to hang out for a few days. Guys, I appreciate you being here. This is honestly, this is therapy. I love when you guys hang out with me. Let me know what you guys thought. Let me know what dish you want to see me cook individually. Or go ahead and like this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Come back this next week. I may have another video on Wednesday or Thursday. I'm trying to work out that consistency thing. I love you. I mean it. Come back soon. Let's eat some food and let's go explore Vegas. If I go down back to the Strip. Did that work?